Greetings, Lux lovers! Welcome back. Here we believe in intentional luxury and we're not afraid to invest in pieces that will work for us. So if that resonates with you, then please consider subscribing and stay a while. Well, as you all know, I do a ton of Hermes unboxings on this channel, but sometimes I move on so fast that I don't get a chance to provide any follow-ups. So today I'm excited to do a look back of about over a year's worth of Hermes unboxings to help inform your own luxury purchasing decisions. I'm gonna share a ton of eye candy and I'll give you the behind the scenes scoop of how these purchases have panned out over the year. Plus, I put a poll out on my socials to ask specifically if there were items that you guys wanted to hear about, and I'll address those requests. So grab that fancy Hermes mug of tea and let's begin. Before we start, I'm so thrilled to do my first unboxing from this brand that you all know and love, and it is idyl. OG viewers will know that I love modularity in all the pieces that I buy, and really no brand epitomizes that more than idyl. But for those of you who don't know, idyl is a fine jewelry company based in Antwerp, Belgium, specializing in lab-grown diamonds and solid 14-karat gold pieces, specifically designed with that modularity in mind. They have a contemporary aesthetic, which really lines up well with my jewelry collection. So let's dive right in. And here is, oh, a nice pouch. I love this wrapping. So let's take a look. Here's a certificate of authenticity. And let's look at this one. Ooh, and inside we have a beautiful cleaning kit. Look how nice that is. And here we are, let's take a look. Ready? Ooh, oh my gosh. I cannot wait to walk you guys through what I chose. How beautiful is that? These are the medium-sized diamond studs in yellow gold and lab diamonds. You have the exposed diamond in the back, so that's good for cleaning. And that is just so pretty. Now, I went with the medium size, like I said, and usually I'm all about the biggest diamonds possible, but I had a vision for these, so I'm gonna put these in. So here is what it looks like on me. You can see that it is a very dainty size for my ear. And then I'm going to show you an additional piece that I got, and it's called the Estelle backings. And so here you can see this beautiful backing, and it has 4 holes so that it will really work with any type of ear size. It's so clever because this pairs with the post earrings, and look at that beautiful marquee diamond. Marquees, you don't see a lot of them, but I love the marquee cut. And as you can see, my emerald ring, which was inherited from my grandmother, is in a marquee emerald. So I just love the edgy look. You can choose to put the earring posts through whichever hole works for your ear, and that's what it looks like. These earrings aren't going anywhere because that backing is super tight. Ooh, but look at that, that's cool. That is just such a cool, edgy look is all I can say. It's beautiful with the round cut diamond and then the marquee diamond on the bottom. And I have the same look on the other side, but that is just such a good conversation piece. I love how that looks. I will show you the next piece, which I'm so excited about. And this is called the Venezia. And hopefully you can see it's a little add-on. It's this little 0.10 carat pear shape. This is part of the Tamara Kalanick line. She did a collaboration and co-created a few pieces, so I was so excited to get this. I cannot wait to show you how I'm going to style it. I take my main earrings off every day, but I have a second piercing just on one ear. And oh, I think this is gonna look good. Look at that, yes! So this was my vision all along. The Venezia just looked like a cute little leaf. I paired it with my pearl earring, which is always in my second piercing. So look at that, whoa. My right ear is decked out. I just wanted to show you guys. Yes, it's great to pair it with the idyl post earrings, but you can also swap it in and out with your own jewelry. So here's what the idyl post looks like with the Venezia. That is so pretty. And then I can even rock the Estelle on the other one. So basically it's like everything mixing and matching. These look great. So I could even pair it with my regular diamond earrings, which are a cushion cut. The modularity knows no bounds. I feel like I don't see a lot of people mixing in their own jewelry. So even though it is a system, you can play around and get a lot of mileage with your own collection. So I'm gonna go back and put in my new posts with the Estelle backing. So here we are. Oh my gosh, that is so cool looking. I'll put the links to these specific items in the description box below, and you can also use Beauty Luxe Lover 10 for 10% off site-wide when there's not already a site-wide promotion going on. All right, so let's get on with the Hermès Hits and Misses, and we're gonna start with some beauty items. Off the bat, we're gonna talk about some nail polishes, and I have a hit and I have a miss. The miss is actually this one. This is one of their newer nail colors, and it's called Vert Bronze. As you guys know, I love green, so if it had Vert in it, I was gonna buy it. But I have to admit, Vert Bronze kind of looks like poo. So it turned a little brown on my nails, but then I wore a really dark khaki jacket and I understood what they were trying to go for. But if I were you, I would probably just skip this unless you want like that type of deep army green khaki type color. However, my absolute hit is this color, and this is Rose Baltique. As you can see, I'm going through it, and it's actually the color I have on today. I feel like this is a great spring color. It goes with a soap nail type of trend. It's translucent enough, but it's definitely adds a little shine and a healthy pink color to your nails. So this one I'll be using all summer long. Let's talk eye pencils. And I know a lot of people were really mixed on the eye pencils. Of these two, they were definitely hit or miss. The miss was this color, unfortunately, and it's the raisin color. I love a good purple. But as you can see, it's like patchy, not that great, and it's so bad I actually might throw it out into the garbage. However, what really worked, lucky enough for me, was this, and this is the Vert Titian color, so it's their green color, and as you can see, it just kind of goes on a lot smoother. It just didn't tug as much. So you really have to try the different formulas for the colors, even within one product family, to see what works for you. As an honorable mention, I actually really love the eyeliner that Hermès came out with. It has a really cool point. I already bought a refill for this and I use it every day. The next two items are these, and this is from the line of the Eau de Rhubarbe Éclairate line, one of my favorite scents from Hermès. As you can see, I'm almost done with this hand soap, and I use this legitimately every day. It's in my bathroom and I'm almost down to the bottom. I will buy a refill, and I love that it is refillable glass. But then as you can see, this is the body lotion and it's almost to the top. Like, I just haven't used this as much. Maybe I'm just not a body lotion type of person, but it just goes to show you really have to think about what types of products you will use day in, day out. So I got a ton of value out of this. I will definitely buy a refill. I might not even get to the end of this and might have to get rid of it by the time the lotion expires. However, I would love to keep this bottle and maybe refill it with something else, but it just goes to show how you can have one scent and use it very differently. Next are my favorite lipsticks. I love the matte lipsticks. I actually love these lip enhancers. This is Rose Tan. I use that daily. And this is my Hermès lip balm that I blinged out. And as you can see, I'm down to the nub. So I have about 3 refills in storage. So it's about that time to refill it. These are absolute hits. But what I would pass on is this. And this is the poppy color from a few seasons ago. And you can kind of see it. To me, this is just way too gritty. You can even see the grit in there. And when I press my lips together, I feel it. It's a little too orangey for my color, but I feel that grittiness, and I also might throw this out in the trash eventually. All right, let's move on to jewelry. And I'll first start with one of my absolute favorite hits, and that's my Cleef Josh necklace in rose gold and pave diamonds. This was a present from the Beauty Luxe Lover, and as you can see, I wear this a ton, and it has the look of like the Revolve studs. It just sits on my neck in the perfect place, and it's more of a if you know, you know type piece from Hermès, and I love pairing it with my Foundry chain, which I recently got for Mother's Day. This pairing I just wear on repeat like all the time. Now, if we're going to talk silver earrings from Hermès, I recently unboxed these, and these are my Hermès Punk silver earrings, and I have to say I love these. These are such a hit. I wore these to Paris and I wear these out and about. They're so distinctive. They rest over the entire earlobe and they are just really edgy looking. And I think I just find that I like earrings that are closer to the ear. But these are definitely conversation starters. And then there were these Farandol drop earrings, and while these are beautiful and I love them, I actually don't use them a whole lot. And again, I think it's just because I'm not a drop type earring person. I don't usually gravitate. As you can see, they're like swinging all over the place, and that's fine. But I just don't wear these types of earrings on the regular. However, when I do wear them, I love them. So I wouldn't call it a miss. But again, if you want to drive down that cost per wear, think about what types of earrings you like to wear. As for bracelets from Hermes, this is my Glennon Double Tour bracelet. I don't use this a whole lot because I find that if you have small wrists like mine, this will like circle my wrist over and over again, so I never know where this hardware is going to be. In comparison though, I have my Be Happy bracelet also in the T1 size, and this is nice because once you set it down and put it on, this doesn't twirl around, whereas this one definitely does. I think they're both in the yellow gold, Vert Cypress. I love them. But this one is definitely the winner, and it goes with so many different types of stacks that this will just stay in place, and I love that, especially for someone who has a small wrist where it just drives me crazy with bracelets that move around constantly. So this just has a nice snug fit. And now we'll move on to the next category, which is shoes by special request. The first pair that I'll talk about are my Doré Orans, and these are so beautiful. I love the color Doré, but I have to admit I don't use these a whole lot, and I'm comparing them to these, which are my Orans in Doré. So given the comparison, I have to say I definitely think the Orans are a hit. These are absolutely beautiful, and these are my only pair of Oran sandals, whereas this is my second pair of Chypre sandals. But when you just compare, look at that. There's just so much leather on the Chypre side that it's almost overpowering for my foot. So I might start to wear these under something like baggy jeans or like baggy black pants, whereas these just look so great with a summer dress and summer styling. Next, just as a special mention, I love these Jet sneakers, and I bought these in black. These are actually so very comfortable, and I have no hesitation in wearing them. There's not even a lot of wear on the bottom, which is great. So these look almost good as new, and they're very comfortable. Just know that it has like a very particular footbed, so try them on and just walk around in them, because I like notice it after a while. It's not painful, but it's definitely like contoured on the inside of the shoe, whereas you might be used to more flat sneakers. And then a really big comparison are these items. These are my short jumping boots, which are a classic for Hermes, versus my Neo ankle boots. And I have to say that the miss has been the jumping boot, while the hit has totally been these Neo ankle boots. While I do love the fact that Hermes came out with a long boot that fits me, and I'm about 5'1", I don't use these as much because there's no zip to get them in and out. And I have to say, they are kind of hard to get off, and they're definitely not the type of boot where I walk in them for miles. And I wish they had a little more tread on the bottom, but I could always get them sold. But I would wear this just for like a short dinner or something dressy, but I'm not wearing them all the time. However, these Neo ankle boots I use a lot, and sometimes I'll just wear a dress and I'll have like dark tights on, and these just go with everything. You can see a lot of creasing, but that's just because I wear them a lot, and they wear really well. I don't like wear them in the snow or anything, but these have withstood the test of time, and they're getting more expensive year by year. But I have to say they're an absolute hit in my collection, and I love these. And if you're enjoying yourself so far, I'd love for you to consider subscribing. If you like extreme luxury product close-ups, thoughtful commentary, and luxury unboxings practically every other month, then you've come to the right place. Okay, now for more Hermes items. So I think one item that is kind of a miss is unfortunately this, and this is my Hermes baseball cap that I bought last year. Don't get me wrong, this is beautiful. This is like that gold color, so it's like gold canvas, the little clou de sel, this beautiful leather bill. I think I've used it once since I bought it. I'm just so nervous, and I feel like the conditions just have to be perfect. Like not too hot, not too cold, not gonna be raining, and it's just a little too fussy. I think I'm gonna keep it maybe for, you know, that perfect fall day, but you can definitely save your pennies on something like this. And as for Hermes watch bands, you've seen me unbox these over the years. This is my double tour one in the Vert Croquet and Palladium coloring. I bought this in Paris last year, and while it's beautiful and it matches one of my bags, I have to say one of my best purchases has been this, and this is my Apple Watch steel band. As you can see, it has the H, and I just wear this all the time now, and I can wear it with confidence knowing that if my kids touch it, it's not going to stain. It looks fantastic. It looks high-end. What's funny is people who don't know it's Hermes, like, they're just looking at me like I have some Amazon band on, but it looks like quality, and it just works for my lifestyle. I love it. Just know that sometimes it squeaks and it's a little annoying, but it used to squeak in the beginning, but it's an absolute hit in my book. Speaking of books, let's go to the notebooks that I've bought over time. And I have this. This is the Hermès Ulysse notebook versus the newer version, which is the eZip A5. And I do have some thoughts on this. First of all, I will admit that I use the Ulysse notebook a lot less. It is just a raw piece of leather, and that means it's super unstructured. So like, you would best use this type of notebook if you have a lot of space and a big table or a big desk that you can just lay it flat. But if you're cramped or in class and you want to look studious, like, there's no structure to the back, so like you're writing and it's just flopping all over the place. So that was a kind of hard learning for me. And then there is this, the eZip notebook, and I love this, but I use it a lot almost only because I figured out a way to add the disc bound system to it. I like literally made this myself to fit this notebook. So I had to do some like arts and crafts to get this to work, but because I know I'm a disc bound lover, I knew I would use it if I could get the discs in here. And also here's my little horsey bookmark I got from Paris recently in Vert Cypress. This is Vert Foncé. And so I just love this type of notebook. It's still not hard, but it's a lot better than the Ulysse notebook. And let's talk about belts. One belt that unfortunately I haven't used at all since I bought is this, and this is my belt with Palladium hardware buckle in that green color mint to match my mini Kelly, and anemone, the purple on the inside. I just haven't really had a chance to use this. Like, it doesn't really match anything in my wardrobe other than my mini Kelly. I don't know if this will be long for my collection. Certainly I will keep the belt buckle because I've paired it with another belt I have in the gold colorway. But the absolute hit in my collection is this, and it is my Kelly belt. I think this is the rose gold color, but this belt kind of comes everywhere with me. I think it is very quiet luxury. If people don't know that it's Hermes, they know it's definitely something because it's just such a beautiful, modern, edgy belt buckle, and it's so travel friendly, very hardy, and I haven't had any issues with it coming loose or anything. All right, let's get to bags. And as a special request, someone did request that I talk about my Goyard Bohème bag, and here it is. I actually really like this, and I would definitely consider this a hit. It's easy, it's compact. I love the security of the zipper, and to me, I actually really love the fact I picked it out in fall colors because it just goes so well, I think, with a work bag. So this I definitely would recommend, and I do not regret having this in my collection, and it has a much thinner, slim side line than, say, the St. Louis PM, which is a more thicker tote. Not that that's a miss, it's just a very different type of bag. So let's talk about hits and misses of my Hermes bag collection, and unfortunately, I do have one, and it is my Hermes In the Loop 18 bag, and this is in the color Baton with gold hardware. I have to say, it's such a beautiful bag. To me, this style drew me in more than, say, the Picotin, but I just never use this bag. This is the only Hermes bag that I have still in the box, in the dust bag, and as you can see, it's in like perfect condition, but I bought this about 2 to 3 years ago, but it just hardly gets any use. And I think it just speaks to the fact I'm not a top handle type person, but the absolute hit, which ironically is also called In the Loop, is my In the Loop bum bag in noir swift leather, and this is a totally different concept. Now, of course, I got a lot of other bags over the past year, but in terms of comparing to In the Loops, this is what we have, and this has been an absolute hit. I feel like we don't see a whole lot of people talking about this, but it's a great mom bag. I just will put it right over my body like this, and I'll just go out run out, do errands, be with the kids. You know, the kids aren't able to grab at this. I can have it in the front, I can have it on my back, and this is just an absolute hit that I would recommend. So thank you to those who've stayed with me to the end. Let us know in the comments if there are any other items I've bought that you want me to review, and if you want me to do a non-Hermes version, I welcome you to follow me on Instagram if you'd like to see more of how I style these items in my day-to-day and other luxury moments. If you've enjoyed this video, I invite you to go down the rabbit hole that is my luxury chit-chat playlist, and I'll put that link here. Please like it if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!